Oh, hello there. Thank you for stopping by. This is Sorrows from the End of Sorrows stream on Twitch. I've been playing a lot of Eternal lately. It's a pretty interesting collectible card game from Direwolf Digital. And as I've been playing it on my stream, different folks have been popping in that were probably expecting either some Diablo or Overwatch and have been just generally curious about this game. And one of the most common requests I had was if I could go over some of the basic mechanics or how free to play friendly it is. And I thought that it would be easy to answer all these questions by just putting together a full Let's Play of Eternal, just starting at the beginning with a brand new account, just to walk through all of the basics of the mechanics, how to get into the free to play aspects of it, and just to show you why I really enjoy this game. So we're just going to start right off the bat with this fresh account that I just created, so there'll be no monetary spending off the bat, just to show you like how you progress from the beginning up to creating a really killer card deck to go up through Masters. So started off, we have this wonderful little flavor text here. The Eternal Throne stands empty. 5 scions of the ancient family maneuver for power. Each has a claim upon the throne, but the future remains in doubt. Change is coming to Myria. Where will you stand? With spells and swords, 6 guns and subterfuge, join the battle for the Eternal Throne. Your journey begins now. Okay, so we created our basic account right off of the Eternal website, which I'll link here in the comments section. We're going to go right into the basic tutorial. We start here with our 4 power cards. If you're familiar with Magic or Hearthstone, you know that you'll need some type of power or mana to cast your spells. So power cards to play units and spells. We'll be dropping a Fire Sigil right here on the main board. And now we have 1 creature available, which is a Pyronite with cost 1 power, and it's a 2/1 creature, so we'll drop him right on the board. Okay, now we pass the turn. Pretty common. I'm sure you're used to this type of thing from a CCG. Okay, at the start of our turn, we always get to draw a new card. So it says, click your unit to select it to attack. So we tap it once, it puts this pretty interesting little orange border on the sides with the arrows pointing towards the enemy. Then we click attack. He'll swing, it does 2 damage because it has 2 power, dropping the opponent to 13. Now each turn we can play one of these power cards for additional power, as it were. So that Fire Sigil's dropped, and it shows here that we have 2 out of 2 power available, and there's 2 influence, meaning our fire influence from the Fire Sigils. So we pass the turn. The enemy drops one of his Shadow Sigils, and he casts Wasting Touch, which does 2 damage. So he uses that to kill our poor little Pyronite. Now at the start of our 3rd turn, we draw a Rebel Archer, which is a 3-drop. So we'll play one of our Fire Sigils here as our power for the turn, showing that boosts us up to a 3/3. So now we're able to play this Rebel Archer. That'll use up all of our power for the turn. We have nothing else to cast, so we pass to the opponent. He's informing me to take this. I don't really want to take it, but he just did a direct 5 damage to us with Lifesteal. Lifesteal means for every point of damage you deal, you gain that as life back. So it boosted our opponent from 13 up to 18. So at the start of our turn, we draw a Centaur Outrider, which is a 4-drop, which is a 5/2 creature, meaning 5 attack and 2 power, or 2 toughness, as it were. All right, so we'll drop our Fire Sigil here, and now we're able to cast the Outrider. So we drop him. That uses our 4 power that we had available, and we'll just swing for 3 with our little Rebel Archer. Pass the turn to the opponent. Now his 4-drop, he's dropping here is the Back Alley Bouncer, which is a 4/3. Now luckily we drew a Torch. A torch is a fast spell, meaning we can cast it during our turn or the opponent's turn. If it's just a basic spell, it can only be cast during our turn. So what we're going to do is use this torch, which deals direct 3 damage to a creature or a player, and we use that to kill his little blocker here. With that back alley bouncer down, he has no blocks, so we're able to swing through with both of our creatures here for a combined 8 damage. That drops the opponent to 7, and we'll play our Fire Sigil, pass the turn. Our enemy is informing us that we haven't won yet. He's using Wasting Touch to kill our little Centaur Outrider, since he only had 2 toughness, doing that 2 points of damage, just enough to kill it. So we draw a Flame Blade. A Flame Blade is a weapon, meaning that it can be attached to one of our creatures. So it shows 4 power, 4 toughness. So we'll put that directly onto our little 3/3. That boosts it up to a 7/7. So now they're pretty nasty. So we'll swing over for 7 for the kill. Fantastic. We've just defeated our first opponent in the World of Eternal. Victory. Now, since we beat that first opponent in the campaign, it's now getting us new cards for our deck. So let's see what's in this chest. Flash Fire. Deal damage to an enemy equal to your fire influence. So we have 4 of those. It's a 5-drop spell. So now we get to pick an avatar of who we want to say expresses us. Now in my main account that I've been playing on my stream, I went right with the good old Titan avatar. That was pretty neat. I think for this one, it's a toss-up between the pretty cool looking Bandit Queen icon, which we see here on the left, but I also kind of like the minions here. Just the scrap bots and little Grenadins. We'll go with those. Those guys are pretty cool. Okay, the Cabal are sneaky, but if you run off their boss, the rest will turn tail and run too. Show them they'll find easier pickings somewhere else. So we've defeated our first boss. Now it shows that if we kill the next one, we can access a pretty cool rare reward, the General Izalio. The other reward here is a Steelbound Dragon. We can kill this guy for the Uncrowned Prince. So we're going to go right into the next battle here. So our basic opening hand's giving us 4 Fire Sigils, and then we also have a 6-drop with the Worldpire Phoenix, which is a pretty cool 5/5 flyer. We have a 5-drop with a Centaur Raider, who's a 4/4 with charge. Charge meaning when the turn you summon the creature, he can attack. Normally they have to wait a full turn to attack. A 2-drop with a Pyre Adept. So our first turn, we're going to drop a Fire Sigil, and we have no 1-drops, so there's nothing we can cast yet. So we have to pass the turn. Okay, the enemy decides to spawn another Knife Jack, which is fantastic. So he has two 1s with Reckless, meaning they need to attack every turn. You can't hold off on them. They have to attack. So with our second turn, we'll drop a Fire Sigil. We're going to drop a Pyre Adept, pass the turn. The enemy cast a Suffocate spell. Suffocate kills a unit with 3 power or less. So our little 3/1 is going to the graveyard, or the void as it were. And he swung through with 4 damage with these 2 Knife Jacks, dropping us to 19. Our third turn, though, is going to allow us a little bit of a comeback here. We drop that 3rd Fire Sigil, giving us 3 power, and we can drop this Rebel Archer. Pass the turn to the opponent. Now he's going to swing through with both of these. Now we have a choice. We can either block or let them through. I'm going to choose to block, so I click this Rebel Archer and then click which one of these creatures I want to block. They will trade off and each do their power to each other. So this Cabal Agent will do 2 damage and the Rebel Archer will do 3 back to him. Considering he only has 1 toughness, that'll be a kill on him unless any buffs are played, and the 2 damage won't be enough to kill our Archer. So we select block there and they trade off. 2 damage got through from the 1 Cabal Agent, and our creature is healed to full at the end of the turn. So he's back up to 3/3, or she as it were. Alright, so our 4th turn, we're going to drop this Fire Sigil here. Now, since he's forced to attack, I'm not going to attack with my Rebel Archer. I'm going to leave her to block, so unless he buffs up this creature, it'll be a guaranteed kill on his turn. So I'll just pass over here. He has to swing with the little Cabal Agent, so we select the block here with our lovely little Archer again. Block goes off, they trade damage. Okay, so both his agents are dead. Our little Archer's left. Okay. So at the start of our 5th turn, we drop our little Fire Sigil. Now our Centaur Raider has charge, so he can attack the turn that we summon him. So we'll drop him down. We're now able to swing for 7 points. Okay, so those go through for 7, pass the turn. The opponent announces that my army is helpless to stop his flying beast. Now, a creature with flying can only be blocked by another creature with flying, or if it has like a special ability. So right now, both of our ground creatures aren't able to stop. Play a Fire Sigil. Now, we did draw Flash Fire. Flash Fire deals damage to an enemy equal to our fire influence. So it shows in this neat little parentheses that there's a green 6, meaning our 6 fire. So we're just going to blast that little flyer right out of the sky. That clears up any blocks there, and our 7 points is going to go right through. So we pass the turn. Okay, start of our turn, drop another Fire Sigil. We're going to pull out our Worldpire Phoenix. He's flying as a 5/5, and now it says his Entomb ability. Entomb means that once the character or the creature is destroyed and goes to the void, that Entomb then will take effect. So when he dies, you get to draw the Worldpire Phoenix from the void with +3 power, +3 toughness, and its cost is increased by 3. So right now it's a 6-drop for a 5/5. When it dies, we get to put it back in our hand. It becomes an 8/8, but it'll now cost 9 power to get out. So since it's not buffed up yet, it's still a 6-drop. So we'll put that down. We'll swing over for 7 with our 2 little guys. Pass the turn. So right now we have the opponent on the ropes. They're down to 4 life. We have 17. They used another Suffocate to kill our little Archer, but they left themselves open with no blockers, 4 power or 4 life, and we can swing over here for 9. Nice and simple second round win here. And we get to pick up our new free cards. So it's a rare drop, because it's a little blue icon at the bottom here. And then General Izalio. It has quick draw, and our other units have +2 power. What quick draw means is when you're attacking, your units with quick draw will make their attack first. So he would do 6 points of damage to whatever creatures are blocking before they have the chance to swing back. So if they don't have enough power or toughness to absorb that type of hit, they can die outright before they even have a chance to swing back at him. It's a really wonderful ability. Okay, so we're now going into the third round here. So we're going to fight for this wonderful Steelbound Dragon, which is a 7/7 flyer with Overwhelm. Overwhelm is like the old Rampage from Magic, where any points of damage that aren't used to kill a blocker will then apply to the boss or NPC like running the game, like the enemy player. So if, like, say a 3/3 flyer tries to block him, it'll only take 3 points of damage to kill it. The extra 4 damage would then apply to the NPC. Okay, so we're going to jump right into this game. Okay, we draw 2 fire sigils. We have a 1-point wolf here we can get out. We have 2 points for a direct damage spell. So we'll go right into our fire sigil and we drop our 1-point wolf. His ability is a summon ability that only takes place when the character first hits the board, so it deals 1 damage to the enemy player. You cannot comprehend nature's might. We just drew our general that we picked up here in that other game, so it'll be fun to break him out later. So we drop our fire sigil, and I'm going to cast Caleb's Favor. It deals 2 damage to the enemy player, and I get to draw a fire sigil from our deck, which is pretty good. I like the ability to draw extra power into our hand. That way we don't have to worry about getting like mana screwed or just not having enough. So drop this out here, deals 2 to the boss. We get to pick up this fire sigil. Now we'll swing over with our wolf. Enemy just dropped another water sigil, so they're at 2 with no spells on the board, no creatures. Gonna drop this fire sigil, it puts us at 3. We don't have any 3 drops, but we did draw an Oni Ronin, which is a really cool 1-drop card. It's a 2/1 with Warcry. Warcry is an awesome ability that's unique to this game. When you attack, when you declare attacks, it'll buff the card next one in order on your deck that hasn't been drawn yet. That's a weapon or a creature. It gives it +1/+1 that stacks. So if you have multiple creatures with Warcry and they keep attacking, it'll just keep buffing up that next card in your deck until you draw it, that it'll have all the bonuses on it. So I've seen already like a 2/2 creature that's been buffed up by so many Warcries turn into a 17/17 for 2 mana or power when it hits the board. Just beautiful. So we're going to cast this Oni Ronin here for 1. Going to swing over with the Forge Wolf. Okay, now he's casting a fast spell. Like I said before, fast spells are allowed to be cast during the opponent's turn. So he hit us here for 4 damage to an attacking enemy and killed our poor little wolf. So since he died before the damage went through, no damage taken by the enemy, and he's able to summon then a 1/2 flying Cloud Snake Hatchling on his turn. Now we have a fast spell here with Rampage, which is a very underutilized spell that can have some pretty fun consequences. Rampage gives a unit +3/+1 and Overwhelm this turn, and it's a fast spell, meaning we can save it to cast on the enemy's turn. But what we're going to do here is we're going to attack with this Oni Ronin, which is a 2/1. Now normally when the Cloud Snake Hatchling would block, its 1 point of damage would be enough to kill this poor little guy. But we're holding this Rampage card, so we don't have to play it yet. We can declare our attacks and see if he commits himself to the block. So he committed to the block. Now we see that there's this silver border around, and when you hover your icon over top of those cards, you can see who they've selected to block, who's attacking. Just a nice little visual confirmation to make sure you're going to be buffing the right characters. Okay, so we're going to drop this Rampage here on the Oni Ronin. That boosts him up to 5/2. That's enough to kill the Cloud Snake that only had 2 points of toughness. The remaining 3 went right through to the boss. Leaves him at our Oni Ronin at a 5/1, and he'll heal to the end of the turn back to his 2/1. Got that buff one away, he's still alive. Okay, I cast a fast spell on my turn, or his turn, Wisdom of the Elders, to draw 2 cards. And he gets breaking out another hatchling. Now, if I do attack with the Oni Ronin and he blocks this time, we have no way of buffing him, so he would kill the poor little Oni. So what I'm going to do is I drop the Fire Sigil that we drew. So it puts us at 4 power. Now this Outland Sniper is pretty neat. He requires 2 red, which we have 4 red total. And he's a 2/2, but his summon ability deals 2 damage. So what I'm going to do is drop him on the board and use that summon ability to do 2 points of direct damage to that Cloud Snake hatchling. Kills the hatchling. Now I don't have to worry about anything stopping my Oni Ronin when he swings through for 2. Now since he has Warcry, we heard that little horn go off, and the next card on in my deck that it is either a weapon or a creature has been buffed +1/+1. So we'll pass the turn. He's dropping a 2/3 flyer. Now this flyer will be able to block either of our characters and kill them outright without dying themselves. So we can go up to 5 with power. We're going to drop this Dusttooth Brawler. He's a 5/3 with Overwhelm. That means he'll be able to swing through against this Clifftop Rider if he chooses to block. The 2 damage will not kill him, but he will be able to take out the 3 points of toughness on the rider and deal 2 to the NPC because of Overwhelm. So we're not going to attack. We're just going to keep our characters back here. Okay, he's dropping a little beefier character now. It's a 6-drop. This is a Wild Aractodon, which is a 4/5 with Overwhelm. Okay, we drew the Forge Wolf. Now the numbers in green reflect that he's been buffed by Warcry. Since we had 2 Warcry abilities go off before another creature or weapon was drawn, both of those +1/+1s went to this Forge Wolf. So even though he's still a 1-drop, he's a 3/3. So it's pretty neat. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop the wolf here. And now we're going to drop this Centaur Outrider. Now this is where some of the strategy comes in. I could swing with my Dusttooth Brawler, and if he chooses to block with the Aractodon, they'll trade off and kill each other. If he chooses to block with the Clifftop Rider, it'll kill the rider and he'll take some damage, and it'll leave us with our 4 creatures here. Now what I could do is wait until I get another power and then summon the general, and then he'll give all our units another like +2 power. So the wolf would have a chance of killing the Aractodon, just buff everyone up. But I want to kind of thin his ranks a little bit, so I'm going to send over that Brawler, who's the 5/3, just to see what he chooses to block with. Okay, he chooses to trade off with the Aractodon. That's going to leave him with only 1 blocker if I choose to swing through with my little guys next turn. So we'll pass the turn. He's dropping a Geral's Frostkin, which is a 3/3, and its summon ability allows it to stun an enemy unit. So his stun hit our poor little Centaur Outrider. Now what stun does is you can't attack or block for as many turns as the stun lasts. When it was cast last turn, it put these 2 symbols on the creature, meaning it was going to be stunned for 2 turns. At the start of my turn, one of those symbols went away, meaning he's only stunned for 1 more turn. The next time it comes back to my turn, I'll be able to use this character again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swing through with our 3/3 Forge Wolf. He's going to choose to block with that little Frostkin. They trade off with each other. And now I have an assembly line I can play, which, hey, it's the same picture as our avatar, which is pretty cool. I can play 3 1/1 Grenadin. So for 1 card, I'm going to get 3 creatures. It's just a really pretty powerful little summon here. So we got 3 of these little guys. I'll pass the turn. Enemy chose not to attack, so he has one blocker. I draw Fire Sigil. That boosts us up to 6 total power, and now we're able to drop the general. Now when we drop the general, all of our units will get +2 power. So I drop him. And look at all these lovely green numbers pop up. So our poor little 1/1 creatures all get buffed to 3/1. Our Outriders up to a 7/2, Snipers at a 4/2, and our Ronins at a 4/1. Meaning any of our creatures now, it can kill this Clifftop Rider if he chooses to block. So what I'm going to do is swing through with everything. And as a helpful tip, if you have multiple creatures on the board and you want to attack with all of them at once, you have a choice of either manually clicking on which ones you want to attack. See, I can click through these multiples. Or if you hit the A key, it will select all of them for you. All available attackers will be chosen to attack. I just pop that A key. Hey, there's a whole board ready to swing over. Except our general, he is unable to attack because we just summoned him this turn and he does not have charge. So we swing through with these. He's blocking our 7/3 or 7/2 Outrider, but there was enough damage that got through for an easy win there. Victory. Claim your rewards, new cards added to your deck. So from that win, we pick up this pretty cool Steelbound Dragon, which is the 7/7 with Flying and Overwhelm for 7 power. Pretty cool. Okay, our next round, we will be fighting for one of these legendary characters. Okay, it shows the enemies first, so we'll get a card on the draw here. You've chosen the wrong side, Rebel. I am here on my own, Iron Thorn. On the left-hand side, different tips will pop up with the little question mark. We'll pop this here. It says, did you know flying units can only be blocked by other flying units, but can block ground units normally. They can also be directly attacked by killer units and relic weapons. So, nice little helpful tip there. So we start our first turn with a Fire Sigil into a Grenadin Drone. A Grenadin Drone is a 1/1 creature with the summon ability of play a 1/1 Grenadin. So it's actually a 2-for-1 card. Pretty strong. We got these 2 little 1/1s here. So we'll pass the turn. Okay, he's casting a Crown Watch Longsword, which is a +2/+2 weapon. He put that on this 1/1 flyer, boosting it to a 3/3 that we're unable to block. For our second turn, we drop another Fire Sigil, and we have a choice of either casting the 1-drop Grenadin Drone, so we'll have another 2 on the board, or we can cast this Oni Striker, which is a 2/1 with charge. I'm just going to go with the Oni Striker. Since it has charge, it's able to attack this turn. We hit A to select them all, swing over for 4. Pass the turn. Okay, he drops a Temple Scribe, which is a 1/1. Its summon ability is you gain 1 life and you draw a card. Then he proceeds to hit me for 3. Alright. We have 3 mana to work with, so what we're going to do is we're going to torch that little 3/3. Okay, 2 mana or 2 power left. We'll drop a Grenadin Drone. And now I could attack with these 3, but I don't want him to kill my striker, so I'm only going to attack with the 2 little drones we have available, and I manually select them instead of hitting A, because we don't want that striker to go over. So just those 2. He's going to choose to trade off 1 with his Temple Scribe. 1 point goes through, and we still have 4 creatures on the board. Hey, there's our Steelbound Dragon. So once we get up to 7 power, we can drop this monster on the board. With our 4th turn, we drop our 4th Sigil. And we're going to swing over for 5 here. Now, I could drop the Outland Sniper and then use its summon ability to hit the boss or the NPC for 2 damage, but I'd like to hold on to this just in case he drops any creature with 2 toughness or less. That way I can take them out and there's 1 less blocker on the board. So we're going to hold him to use as removal. Okay, Mithril Mace. Mithril Mace is a relic weapon, which it's a 3/4, meaning it is able to do 3 points of damage per attack, and it has 4 toughness. Since he swung at my poor little Oni Striker, which was a 2/1, it did 3 points of damage to him, killing him, and then the Striker did 2 points of damage back to the mace itself, which took 2 points of the armor away, leaving it at a 3/2. So what I'm going to do, I'll swing through with my 3 little remaining guys, and that's enough to kill the armor left on the weapon and then do 1 point to the NPC himself. Gonna drop another power, still gonna hold on to that sniper, and pass the turn. Okay. Now, what he dropped is a 2/3 creature called a Treasury Guard that has Endurance. Endurance is a pretty cool ability. What it happens is when you have Endurance and you attack, you're not actually exhausted for the rest of the turn. You can attack, and then on your opponent's turn, you're able to block. So it's a pretty neat ability. Now, there's 2 ways I can go about this. What I could do is I could swing with these 3 little guys, and if he blocks 1, it'll take him down to 2 damage or 2 life left. And then I could cast the sniper to kill it off. Or I could just summon my Magma Javelin and I could stab him so all 3 could get through. I think I'm going to go the route with the Outland Sniper. So I'm going to swing here. Oh, it wants me to play the Relic Weapon. So sorry. So Relic Weapon it is. Stabbing the poor Treasury Guard. Now, since it was able to do 2 damage, it killed my weapon and I took 1 point, but it was an outright defeat of the Treasury Guard. So now we're able to swing through with our 3 little drones. We'll drop another sigil onto the board. We'll pass the turn. Okay, he's dropping a 3/2 Argent Point Soldier, and that 2 toughness was looking real good until he dropped that sword on it. That boosted up to a 5/4, so I'm unable to take him out with the sniper. But we did draw a Flash Fire. If you remember that from the previous game, it deals damage to an enemy equal to our fire influence. And that helpful little number 6 in parentheses shows how much we can do. So we're gonna just blast that 5/4 guy right there. Swing through for 3 with our little drone army. Alright, pass the turn. Hey, there we go. There's our 7th fire sigil. Now we're able to drop this Steelbound Dragon. So that's a threat that needs to be answered. We'll swing through with our 3 little drones. Now, if you saw, he just dropped a creature on my turn while I was attacking. This Dune Phantom has this pretty cool ability named Ambush. Ambush can be played to block an enemy attack or at the end of the turn. So he just threw that down. Since it has 0 power, it didn't do any damage to our Grenadin, but it stopped one of the attacks from going through. Alright, so we'll pass the turn over. He's dropped a 2/3 Bold Adventurer. Alright, so we'll drop our Fire Sigil. And now I'm going to do a little combo attack. I'll swing through with my Grenadins. He's probably going to block one here with this little 2/3. Let's see what happens. Okay, now the 7/7 was blocked by the wall. So it was a 0/6. It absorbed 6 points of the damage that the dragon would cause. And since he has Overwhelm, the remaining point went through to the NPC, dropping him to 4. One of our drones was blocked by his Bold Adventurer, which killed it outright, and took his Bold Adventurer to a 2-2. One of them went through, managed to clip him for another point, dropping him to 4. So what I'm going to do is I'll drop this Outland Sniper here, and since his Bold Adventurer was taken down to 2 toughness, we'll use his summon ability and kill it outright. So he has no blockers on the board, no cards in hand. Things are looking very bad here for Marshall Ironthorn. Alright, he's holding 1 card. I'm just going to elect to swing through with everything. Everything went through, took him to -6. Nice easy win. And for our win, we pick up this pretty cool little legendary of Caleb the Uncrowned Prince. He has charge, and his summon ability is I get to play a random weapon for each of my fire influence units. So that can be pretty powerful. Oh, and we've unlocked the Firestarter deck. It says, ha, I like your style, you've got guts, and that still counts for something. If you ever need somebody to have your back, just say the word. Okay, so we ran through the first set of the campaign, and it says, complete the campaign. Complete all 5 factions in the campaign, and we can unlock 3 silver chests. So the quest system in this game is pretty awesome. Like each day you can pick up new random quests. Just running through the game will get you so many free packs. So, all right, this drops us here into the next set. So stay tuned for the next in our line of Let's Play Eternal. And if you'd like to see more, please check out my stream at the End of Sorrows at Twitch, and our YouTube at End Sorrows, and all of our lovely social media functions. But thank you for watching. See you next time.